Hey, it's the Abstractionist. I'm here with a deck haul video. I just decided to do each deck on its own. It just makes more sense. Yeah, it just makes more sense to do it like that. So the first one I did was the Uncommon Tarot. I'll link that. You can go ahead and look at that on its own. It's just a quick introduction to the deck and why I like it. This one is Liminal Spirits Oracle, which is Spirit cards by Laura Tempest Zakharoff. I have never heard of this lady outside of this deck or a person outside of this deck. So I can't really give you any other decks that this person has made. But anyway, so this is that. I saw this, I feel like almost 2 years ago. I had gone out with some friends to this mall, and I go to Barnes and Noble generally, but there was a Books A Million at this location, and this deck was there, but I didn't get it because I was like, I feel like I'm gonna start crying. It feels really intense. It feels like a really intense deck. So I didn't get it, and I think I hadn't yet had my experience with like Damian and stuff like that. But as far as I know, no, I hadn't had my experience yet. So it was something about this. Maybe it was the eyes on this that I was just like, oh, I don't know, like, you know. It just seemed like it was very plant-based and very alien-y, and I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know. Having experienced everything I've experienced since then, I'm a little more open to working with plant energetics. However, okay, so I'm open to exploring plant medicine, specifically, surprisingly, orchids. And the reason why is because I feel like orchids are some of the most alien-looking plants ever. Plants, flowers ever. And like, has anyone ever looked at an orchid? Like, have you ever really looked at an orchid and just really sat there? Like, the presence is like otherworldly, and I definitely get the spirit vibe. Like, it's almost scary. And I know, like, that could be interpreted as like, why are you scared of orchids? Like, is that a bad energy? There's just something very stark about plants, certain plants, and something very specifically orchids, something very like, it's almost like they get through to it's like working with Damiana. I just feel like the experience would be like very like cosmic, outside of body, multiple lifetimes, doppelganger, body snatcher type energy, which is kind of weird. So that being said, the Liminal Spirits Oracle. So you get a book. It comes in like this little box, which is the same thing as the other one. The other one's just smaller. The cards are larger for this one. So this is the back. I'm not going to read this. I'm sorry, but I'm not. So you get this little booklet here. Get the little different spell, you know, the different things. Different card, you know, how to begin it. Each card has a little explanation, so it's not just plants. It is actual like wildlife and things like that. And I like this because they don't do a lot of the common ones. Like we have honeybee here, but salamander isn't something that you get all the time. You know what I'm saying? And then they go into some like plants, herbs. So they have mandrake, which I know a little bit about as far as like, that's like a heavy hitter. Belladonna, Deadly Nightshade, that's another one. And then other things like walnut. So kind of, I kind of feel like, now that I'm thinking about it, like exploring groundedness from the plant perspective, that's why I enjoy the Wild Unknown Tarot. Because the peer that's trying to talk to you is not human. It's not human, it's animal, it's energetic, but it's not human. And I think if you are interested in liminal spirit like things, you might like that deck. I feel like I'm gonna work with that deck more. But I feel like if you like that path of non-humanness, as far as like being a spiritual guide for you, then you might like this deck. Yeah, cat, things like that. So the backs are like this little swirl thing, and then this is the box inside. Anyway, so you get these cards. It's snail. You got places too, so you got desert, so you got locations, like different places, environments, gateway, you saw that. And I think I like these because it's pretty simple. I'm getting into Oracle more and more. Crystal, this is the only one I feel like artistically, because it has such sharp edges, doesn't fit, but it does fit, you know what I'm saying? I feel like surprisingly this would be probably a good reason why I'm doing this time period, the Scorpionic season, is because it probably has some sort of Scorpionic energy that it can impart, you know? And then larger concepts like time, stuff like that. Let me see. So I am interested in exploring this deck because I just am fascinated with energetics outside of human. Not necessarily, I mean, not necessarily always working with non-human, but I do think that because there's many layers to this reality, that knowing a little bit about them will give me the perspective of going forward and living in this environment and space. And I feel like because I'm someone who's interested in timelines and healing different things, that these energies, because they've been here longer, or they have a certain energetic knowledge of time that we maybe take for granted, or we really don't have access to, particularly like plants and like trees and stuff, like, you know, like that whole kingdom. It would behoove you to kind of work with them from a healing standpoint, and not just consuming them in like ceremonies and stuff like that, but like to genuinely get to know them when it comes to how they process time, and how we as humans in this environment also process time together and apart, and all the ways in between. So yeah, so that was the Liminal Spirits Oracle. Very short, to the point. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Check out the Uncommon Tarot video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.